Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Getsy's Reads. I'm Getsia. If you're new here, I do all types of videos. I do mostly book related content. I also sometimes do movie reviews. I love unboxings too and hauls. So yeah, if any of that sounds interesting to you, then you're more than welcome to hit that like button and subscribe if you like this video, which I hope you do. Okay guys, so today I am really excited for this video because I'll be opening up my first order of ThriftBooks. If you don't know what ThriftBooks is, it's basically a site where you can buy secondhand, used books for a very cheap price, and they also sell, I think, new books also, but obviously they're not that cheap. They're in their original price because they're new. So I think most of these books were less than $10. I think the one that was the most expensive was I think $8 or something. Okay, so I believe I bought 9 books. I don't know, it was quite a while ago, so I'll just rediscover them right now. Okay, I'm going to be opening this first one because it's the lighter one. So I'll be using my scissors. Okay, so this is the picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, which is one of the books that I was most excited about. It's so pretty. Look at, I love this. I don't know, I love this cover. This is the spine. I think when I ordered it, I thought it was going to be another cover, but I don't mind because this cover is I like it. It's very pretty. I'm going to be putting this book in the Victober TBR video because I'm going to be participating in the Victober readathon, which is a readathon through the whole month of October where you read Victorian books or novels. So I'm going to be reading the synopsis of this. Okay, it says, written in his distinctively dazzling manner, Oscar Wilde's story of a fashionable young man who sells his soul for eternal youth and beauty is the author's most popular work. The tale of Dorian Gray's moral disintegration caused a scandal when it first appeared in 1890. But though Wilde was attacked for the novel's corrupting influence, he responded that there is, in fact, a terrible moral in Dorian Gray. Okay. Yeah, so basically this is a book about a young man that sells his soul because he is so vain that he wants to be beautiful forever. So I mean, don't we all have a bit of Dorian Gray in us? Don't we all like to be young and beautiful forever? But that's just not real life. But I'm very excited to be reading this novel. This is the second one I'm going to be opening. Let's see. This next one is A Short History of the Korean War by James L. Stokesbury. He is also the author of a short story of World War I and a short story of World War II. This is the book. That red really stands out. The spine. Basically, this is a book about the Korean War, and I want to learn more about history, and especially about Korean history and culture of Korea, North and South Korea, because I'm very interested in learning more about that country. So I picked up this book, and I think this was the last one that was available on ThriftBooks, so I don't know if they have more copies of this, but when I got it, it was the last one. Going to the third one now. Okay, there are two books in here. Okay, so these are the two books in here. The first one is Reviewing the Movies, a Christian Response to Contemporary Film. It's written by Peter Eraser and Vernon Edwin Neal. This is the cover. So the spine. Okay, so this is a book about how to review movies through a Christian perspective. Let me read what it says on the back. With film being one of the most powerful cultural influences in America, we Christians cheat ourselves and limit our opportunities to witness to the culture when we label all movies as either completely corrupt or as harmless entertainment. The one stance thoroughly excludes a possible source of greater understanding. The other allows ungodly values to freely enter our hearts. What we need is the balance that discernment provides. A film not made solely by or about Christians can still be uplifting and connect with us spiritually, as long as it conveys truth with cinematic excellence. I completely agree with him on this. I love it. Yet, many of us are unequipped to determine which movies meet that qualification. That's why we need the right tools. With them, we can shift to the offensive and intentionally evaluate and discuss how a movie illustrates God's truth. In this book, two media experts offer you those tools. Using a wide range of examples from throughout cinematic history, they explain how film is created, what the storyline means for its effectiveness, and how films impact our kids. In learning to better understand the movies and unpack their images, you'll not only gain an informed discernment for yourself, but more importantly, help your children, friends, and the unsaved come to view Hollywood's messages more critically and more carefully. So I loved what it says about this book. I agree that there are talking about the Christian community, because I'm part of that community. There are people that see movies and entertainment and TV shows as completely corrupt in the Christian community, and there are other Christians that see that secular media, as harmless entertainment. And I don't think it's either of those. I mean, you have to take each piece of art individually, in my opinion, and review them individually. Like, I'm not going to clump all movies as bad just because they're secular, just as not all Christian movies are good, because a lot of them have false doctrine and do not really represent God's true word. So I'm very excited to read this book because I love movies, I love watching media, but I don't watch everything because, as it says, you have to be very discerning to know what is going to affect you spiritually. You have to be very wary when you're a spiritual person to guard your heart of what things you let in to your to your mind and to your soul. So I'm very excited to read this one. I don't know when I'll be reading all of these books, but I just hope to be reading them soon. I know I'm going to be reading The Picture of Dorian Gray for Booktober, that it's going to be this month. So this is the sorry. Okay, and the next book that came with the other one is The Remaining, and it's a novelization by Travis Trasher, I think. Travis Trasher, based on the Affirm Films thriller. This cover looks so cool, looks so spooky. This is The Spine, The Remaining. Guys, this is the novelization of a movie, and it's like a Christian horror movie because it's loosely based, because not everything that is shown is in the Bible, but it's loosely based on the last book of the Bible, the Apocalypse, which is basically like Judgment Day for everybody. And I even recommend that movie to non-Christians because it's just I love it. I've never seen like a type of movie like that that combines horror and spirituality, Christianity so well. I think when that movie came out, I watched it 3 times, three days, one after the other, in movie theaters. And when the movie ends, it's just silence, complete silence, and everybody's like shocked. And I'm like, yeah, that happened. I recommend you see the movie. I loved it. Okay, so I was so excited to get to uncover this book because I didn't know they had made a novelization of the film. Okay, so I'll read you the summary. It says, in one day, everything changes forever. As a group of college pals gathers for the wedding of two friends, celebration turns to terror when many of the guests die suddenly with no apparent cause. With the big day turned into a nightmare, the friends are left to figure out what's happening. With mysterious and devastating catastrophes striking the city, and reports of similar events coming in from around the world, they must address the ultimate question. Is this the end? Or just the beginning of something more horrifying than they ever could have imagined? Faith, family, and the future are all hanging in the balance. I think I'm going to be reading this book for October. Let's see. Okay, so now we go to our fourth package. This one, oh, you probably haven't heard of it. It's American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I was sarcastic there. You've probably heard of this book. It was the inspiration for the very well-known movie American Psycho, which I haven't seen yet because I first wanted to read the book and then I'll go and see the movie. But I was introduced to this book by just hearing about the movie on the internet. I'll be reading the summary. It says, Patrick Bateman is handsome, well-educated, intelligent. He works by day on Wall Street, earning a fortune to complement the one he was born with. His nights he spends in ways we cannot begin to fathom. He is 26 years old and living his own American dream. I'm very excited to be reading this. I don't know when I'll be reading it, but I'm excited for this one. I think this is one of my 5-star predictions. Let's see. The next book we have here, which I love the cover, it's Nod, a novel by Adrian Barnes. Look at this. This is the spine. It says, dawn breaks over Vancouver, and no one in the world has slept the night before, or almost no one. A few people, perhaps 1 in 10,000, can still sleep, and they've all shared the same golden dream. After 6 days of absolute sleep deprivation, psychosis will set in. After 4 weeks, the body will die. In the interim, panic ensues, and a bizarre new world arises in which those previously on the fringes of society take the lead. Paul, a writer, continues to sleep while his partner Tanya disintegrates before his eyes, and the new world swallows the old one whole. So this is like, I think it's another like apocalyptic book, but it's also like about a disease, a virus. There's a saying in Spanish that goes like, Cualquier parecido a la realidad es pura coincidencia. If I said it right, I'll be leaving you the English translation below. Yeah, so I'm excited to be reading this. It feels kind of like connected to our reality right now. But yeah, this was not. Okay. Ugh, we have this hunk of a package. This is the last package. The first one is The Good People by Hannah Kent. And I love this cover too. Okay, it says The Good People is... Okay, I'm going to be reading the summary. It says, 3 women in the 19th century Ireland are drawn together in the hope of rescuing a child from a superstitious community. Nora, bereft after the sudden death of her beloved husband, finds herself alone in caring for her young grandson. Michael, I think, or I don't know it's how it's pronounced, Michael or Michael, cannot speak and cannot walk. And Nora is desperate to know what is wrong with him. So let's just name him Mick. So Mick is Nora's grandson, and he's like sick. What happened to the healthy, happy grandson she met when her daughter was still alive? Mary arrives in the valley to help Nora just as the whispers are spreading. The stories of unexplained misfortunes, of illnesses, and the rumors that Mick is a changeling child who is bringing bad luck to the valley. Determined to banish the evil in Mick, Nora and Mary enlist the help of the elderly Nance, a recluse and wanderer once revered by her neighbors for her healing powers, but now condemned as a fraud and a threat by the new priest in town. She understands the magic of the old ways, and she might be able to help Mick. I don't know if it's how you pronounce that name. As these 3 women are brought together in the hope of restoring Mick, the world of folklore and belief, of rituals and stories, tightens around them. It will lead them down a dangerous path and force them to question everything they have ever known. Based on true events and set in a lost world bound by its own laws, The Good People is Hannah Kent's startling new novel about absolute belief and devoted love. Terrifying, thrilling, and moving in equal measure, this long-awaited follow-up to Burial Rites shows an author at the height of her powers. Okay, so I haven't read Burial Rites, but it sounds interesting. I'm not a fan of books that contain magic. I don't usually read those types of books, but this one, it seemed interesting, and I wanted to read more books set in Ireland. You know, that's Ireland. My gosh, was that a cringy accent? I'm sorry. I'm obviously very far from Ireland. I really don't know that much. The like only Irish star that I most know of is Niall Horan, because he was in one of my favorite bands, which was One Direction. So yeah, so this is from the land of Niall, from where he's. So yeah, I don't know when I'll read it, but it's interesting to me, and let's get on with the next one. Okay. Oh, the next hunk we've got here is one that was very popular, and it's Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is the original cover, and this is the spine. I love that it has like these edges like in the same color of the title. Okay, and it says, marriage can be a real killer. One of the most critically acclaimed suspense writers of our time, New York Times bestseller Gillian Flynn takes that statement to its darkest place in this unputdownable masterpiece about a marriage gone terribly, terribly wrong. The Chicago Tribune proclaimed that her work draws you in and keeps you reading with the force of a pure but nasty addiction. Gone Girl's toxic mix of sharp-edged wit and deliciously chilling prose creates a nerve-fraying thriller that confounds you at every turn. On a warm summer morning in North Carthage, Missouri, it is Nick and Amy Dune's 5th wedding anniversary. Presents are being wrapped and reservations are being made when Nick's clever and beautiful wife disappears from the rented McMansion on the Mississippi River. Husband of the Year Nick isn't doing himself any favors with cringe-worthy daydreams about the slope and shape of his wife's head. What? But passages from Amy's diary revealed the alpha girl perfectionist could have put anyone dangerously on edge. Under mounting pressure from the police and the media, as well as Amy's fiercely doting parents, the town golden boy parades an endless series of lies, deceits, and inappropriate behavior. Nick is oddly evasive, and he's definitely bitter. But is he really a killer? As the cops close in, every couple in town is soon wondering how well they know the one that they love. With his twin sister, Margot, at his side, Nick stands by his innocence. Trouble is, if Nick didn't do it, where is that beautiful wife? And what was in that silvery gift box hidden in the back of her bedroom closet? With her razor-sharp writing and trademark psychological insight, Gillian Flynn delivers a fast-paced, devilishly dark, and ingeniously plotted thriller that confirms her status as one of the hottest writers around. Okay, so this was so that's the summary for Gone Girl. I've heard lots of good things about this book. Like all of the reviews I've seen and I've read, they love this book, so I'm hoping it to be a 5-star read. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. I don't know when I'll be reading it, but I'm very excited for that one. And the last book. Okay, the last book is another very well-known book. It's The Woman in the Window, a novel by A.J. Finn. This is how it looks like. This is the spine. Okay, it says, Anna Fox lives alone, a recluse in her New York City home, unable to venture outside. She spends her days drinking wine, maybe too much, watching old movies, recalling happier times. Oh, and spying on her neighbors. Then the Russells move into the house across the way. A father, a mother, their teenage son, the perfect family. But when Anna, gazing out her window one night, sees something she shouldn't, her world begins to crumble, and its shocking secrets are laid bare. What is real? What is imagined? Who is in danger? Who is in control? In this diabolically gripping thriller, no one and nothing is what it seems. Twisty and powerful, ingenious and moving, The Woman in the Window is a smart, sophisticated novel of psychological suspense that recalls the best of Hitchcock, an unforgettable thriller that Gillian Flynn calls amazing. So I got this book because I saw the trailer for the movie, but if I could, I wanted to get the book first before seeing the movie. So yeah, it sounded interesting, like a woman, she's minding her own business and then she sees something she shouldn't have seen, and I want to know what happens. So this one seems pretty interesting. All of these books, guys, seem really interesting. It's so hard to just choose which one is like the next you're going to read. Okay guys, so these are the books I got from ThriftBooks. I'm so excited. They all seem very interesting to me. Yeah, there are 9 books in total that I got, and I hope you liked my video. If any of these sound interesting to you, I would like to know which one it was, so you can put it down in the comments. And if you've read any of them, you can also put down what were your thoughts on the book down in the comments. And yeah, just thank you for seeing my video, guys. I hope I keep making content that people like, and stay tuned for my other videos that will be coming pretty soon. Okay guys, until the next time, this was Ketsy's Reads. Bye!